Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. As you can see, it's England Central today. Today is a massive day for England's Euro campaign. England versus Germany, last 16 tie at Wembley, of all places. It does not get bigger than this in terms of an England fixture at a competition. You play against the Germans, where there's most history with that country, at Wembley, on home turf, in a last 16 knockout tie of the Euros. Honestly, when you look at history, the last time England made a semi-final at the Euros was 96. It was at Wembley, the old Wembley. It was against Germany. It was Gareth Southgate who missed the penalty that cost England that semi-final. And now we've come full circle because Gareth Southgate is manager against Germany at a last 16 at the Euros at the new Wembley. Redemption is here and the opportunity is there to take it. But can England do it? That's the question. Because honestly, I'm going to be real, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be truthful with all of you. I think it's safe to say all of us are expecting a Germany win, but all of us are hoping for an England win. It's all we've got. All we have is hope. We are just hoping that something miraculous happens. Why? Because miracles seem to be happening all over the competition in the last 16 now. You know, Spain have come out of nowhere. Croatia are knocked out. Denmark are doing a madness and they beat Wales. They're in the quarterfinals and no one thought Denmark would do it. And with the circumstances of Christian Eriksen, everyone wants Denmark to go all the way. It's just how it is, but they're in the quarterfinals. You look at the way that the other last 16 games went down. Unbelievable scenes. France, the world champions, knocked out. I mean, it's crazy. Switzerland, underdog story, penalties. The whole thing is mad right now. Big teams are getting kicked out left, right and centre. Belgium knocked out Portugal. Portugal, another big one that are knocked out. So, will Germany get knocked out? You know, if we're talking about underdog stories here, it goes in favour of England. But the problem is, you can't just rely on an underdog story to get the job done. You got to rely on the team that you have, and most importantly, you need to set up in the correct manner, which is where England have the most doubts. All of us England fans, all of us that are English here in England, we are so confident in the lads that we have, but we are not confident at all in the way that Southgate is using them. That's the problem. And now Southgate's getting a contract extension. I think the morale has dropped even lower. But the problem is now we have to put that to a side. We have to put that to one side. Right now, it doesn't matter who's in charge. It doesn't matter who's taking care of the team. What we need is a result. What we need is to beat Germany. Simple as that. Are we going to do it? We'll see. We'll see. Now, as I've said, with the way that I see this going, it can flip either way here. Because let's have it right. The way that Southgate is going to set England up, it won't be offensive. We will not be attacking. We will not be playing in a way where we will try and dominate the game. That won't happen. Get it out of your heads. It's not going to happen. I want it to happen. I think it should happen. I think we've got the players to make it happen, but we're not going to set up like that to make it happen. So we've got to be just, honest and real and just look at it and go, yeah, you know what? Look, Southgate is going to set up in a defensive way. He's going to let Germany have the ball. Now, look, that could work one of two ways. Because many teams, and I think every team that have come across Germany, have tried to play in that way. Some it's worked, some it hasn't. The way you set up against Germany, you let them have the ball. But if you're solid enough defensively, much like France were, you can frustrate them. You can make life hard for them. You can get them to go into their heads a little bit and start to get a little bit annoyed and frustrated with the fact that they just can't get past and they can't score. But the problem is, if you do it like Portugal did, and you let in 4, there's a problem. So this is where you have to be honest and look at it and go, you know what, it can go either way. England might set up very well defensively because that is just how Southgate likes to set the team up, and we might do a good job and we might get that one opportunity, stick it in, get a 1-0. Yeah, that is the most Southgate thing going, right? Jose Mourinho would be proud. But at the same time, it could flip the other way. We might set up defensively, let Germany have the ball, they'll cut through us, score, and we'll get destroyed. It could go either way. because I don't necessarily think we are going to allow or try and take initiative of the ball, try and get the ball to our front men, try and create chance after chance after chance. I think it's going to be a, snap and go. It's going to be a defend, wait for the counter attack, take the opportunity, boom, and go. Problem is, Germany can defend very well. And Germany have top players, especially at the back. You're talking about Rudiger, you're talking about Hummels, Ginter, their fullbacks of Gosens and Kimmich. I mean, Kimmich is fantastic. Kimmich is playing brilliant this tournament. It's worrying. It's worrying. Now, the fact that England, we all know, are going to change formation, they're going to change system. They're going to set up in a back three. Why? Because Germany do that. Now, is that the right way to go? Is that the right way to go? On paper, you look at it and think, yes. At the same time, in the back of my head, I'm thinking we might just stick to our own football. That might be the best way. To stick to what we know, to stick to what we're good at, to what's worked for us. But I know Southgate's not going to do that. Southgate is very reactionary. Southgate is someone that will heavily look at the opponent and even abandon his own philosophy to just try and counter what the opponent's going to do. And if you do too much of that, it can cost you. And this is where I'm concerned. I'm a little bit worried. But look, I think against Germany, going for man is probably our best hope. If not, I think they'll cut through us. So we just got to use what we have. It's as simple as that. Now, in terms of how England are going to set up, in terms of the lineup, let's get into the lineup because we've already got a couple of leaks. Weirdly enough, I don't know where these leaks come from. Why is it that journalists have a hand on exactly what Southgate's going to do 24 hours before kickoff and then release it to the press? That way Germany know exactly what we're going to do. It's baffling. It happens every single time and I don't know why it happens. But we know the leaks that have come through the last few hours since last night is that we will set up in a back three. Grealish will not play. I can't understand that one. I really can't understand that one. The front three looking like Kane, Sterling and Saka. That is looking like what the front three will be. I'm happy with one of those players. I'm not very happy with the other two, even though I can understand one of them, but I'm not happy with the other two. Mount and Chilwell will both be on the bench because they haven't been involved with the squad in terms of training, even though they've been testing negative and they've been training alone, but they've still been training. Apparently, they're just not ready. I don't understand that situation one bit. No one does. But apart from that, yeah, we're setting up with a back three. It's going to be, I think, very defensive. And we've got a front three of the front three that I've already explained. So let's get into it. I'm going to tell you what I would do. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what I would do. And then I'm going to compare it with what I know Southgate is going to do. And then we can contrast there. So let's get into the starting 11. So we will go with Pickford in goal. Because he's the only logical goalkeeper that I think we can go with. What I would do... And I'll see if Southgate is going to do it here. But what I would do, because we're going to a back three, I would go Kyle Walker at right centre-back. I would go Stones in the middle. And I would go Maguire left centre-back. I've considered Mings, but only if Kyle Walker wasn't playing. Kyle Walker, I think, would be a good player to have at right centre-back. Why? Because he's very good defensively. He's very robust. He's a great defender. Going forward, he's actually not that fantastic. And this is why I'm going to pick a certain right wing-back to complement him. But at right centre-back, I think he would do a fantastic job. So for me, he would go right centre-back. Stones in the middle. That's probably his best position. Maguire on his left. That way he can drive with the ball a little bit as he likes to do. Distribute those long balls as he likes to do. And I think he's quite good at. Hopefully he doesn't have a mistake in him against Germany. Because if he does, we're getting destroyed, we're getting punished. We've got to deal with Muller, we've got to deal with Gnabry, we've got to deal with Kai Havertz. I mean, God forbid. And that's going to be on Maguire's side, I think. So look, he's got to have the game of his life. That should be the back three. I think that's the best that we have, you know, considering who we're coming up against. Yes, it's not fantastic, but it's the best that we have. At right wing back, I would go Reece James. Why? Because he can go forward. He can ping in a good ball. He can contribute offensively as well as come back and aid defensively and link up with a Kyle Walker to help cover him if he has to. And I think defensively, that is a side that we should have control of. We would have to come up against Gosens. We would have to come up against possibly Gnabry if he's playing slightly on the left, or if it's going to be Muller, I don't know, or if it's going to be Sane if Sane's starting, but I'm guessing it's going to be Gnabry. So Gnabry and Gosens to deal with Reece James and Kyle Walker. I think we should have their number. In terms of left wing back, I mean, look, it's going to be Luke Shaw. It's going to be Luke Shaw. Personally, I'd go Chilwell. And I've said this countless times. But it's going to be Luke Shaw. It's going to be Luke Shaw. So I've just stuck Chilwell there because I told you what I would do. But Luke Shaw will be starting. So that's not even a debate. As I've already said, Chilwell will start from the bench. In midfield, I'd change it up here. I would change it up, and this would be a little bit of a debate kicking off in the comment section. So let me know what you guys would do. But personally, I would go Jude Bellingham and I would go Calvin Phillips. That would be me. I'd drop Declan Rice. I would drop Declan Rice. Why? I think Phillips is a great box-to-box midfielder. I think he's proven that. I think he's someone that can, contribute offensively as well as come back defensively. I think he can move the ball quickly. I think he's got confidence at the moment. He's on a little bit of a roll, so fair play to him, and I think he deserves to start. Alongside him, I'd go Jude Bellingham. Why? Because he is fast. He is technical. He's skillful. He is someone that isn't just going to remain in that little block in the middle of the pitch waiting for something to happen. He is someone that takes initiative, and despite his age, despite the fact he's 17, he can retrieve the ball, he can win it back, he can get past players, he can dribble, he can drive forward, he can think forward, and he can get the attackers involved. And if we're playing with a Harry Kane up top, which we just know is going to happen, I think it's crucial that we have a Jude Bellingham to come and assist the attack, especially if we're playing in a back three. It would be ludicrous to play in the back three and have 8 defenders. And that's what I don't want. I want midfielders to take initiative and to really try and give it a go. And that's why I'm picking Bellingham alongside Phillips. Phillips and Bellingham, I think, playing alongside each other, both going box to box pretty much, but Bellingham probably be the one that will sit back a little bit if he has to. But again, Calvin Phillips can do the same thing if Bellingham goes forward. I think they can just, play in that sort of manner. Whereas I think if it was Declan Rice would sit. And he would just sit. And right now, look, if we're going to take the game to Germany, who I think, are not the best that they've ever been, let's have it right. They are beatable. They're just, I think, on paper, better than us. But they are beatable. And I think if we have a solid midfield that can take control against a Toni Kroos, against a Gundogan or a Goretzka, I think you can't do that by just sitting back and doing nothing. And I think with Declan Rice, he's caged up. And that might be down to Southgate. I think Bellingham has more initiative about him. I think Bellingham, as his character, is just someone that likes to take the ball and just go with it. So regardless of what Southgate says, I think you'd find Bellingham is a little braver in that aspect, which is why I would play him. That would be me. Plus, Bundesliga experience. He knows German football very well. He knows a couple of these lads. He's played with these lads in the same league. I think it would just be wise to have our Bundesliga players on the pitch against Germany. Now, what I would do, I would have Jack Grealish on that left-hand side. I would have Sancho on that right-hand side. And, I would have Harry Kane up top because I think the players that I've already mentioned will help bring him into the game. And as captain and as the quality that we know Harry Kane has, as long as you're playing to his strengths, he's a great player to have. If you're not playing to his strengths, he's isolated and he's up there doing nothing. But I think with a Bellingham, I think with a Phillips, I think with a Grealish, with a Sancho, he has all the ingredients around him to get involved and to help include him in the game and include him in the build-up. And we've seen Harry Kane come deep in order to get involved. I think if he were to come a little deeper and combine with a Bellingham, combine with a Grealish and a Sancho on both sides, and just drive that attack, I think that could be deadly. Now, I would choose Grealish because, as far as I'm concerned, he's the first name on the team sheet. He brings everything you need. Why is he not playing today? And we've already known that he's not going to play today. This is crazy. As far as I'm concerned, we've seen his performances. Why is he not playing today? Why are we so adamant with Sterling? Why? Because he scored 2 tap-ins. I mean, come on. Yes, credit to Sterling. He done what he had to do. Sometimes his positioning is fantastic. But what scares me is the lack of being able to keep the ball, and his loss of possession is what scares me. You do that against Germany, you're not going to create anything. You're just not going to create anything. Other teams that we've played against have had loopholes at the back. Germany do not look like a team that has a loophole at the back. And if you are losing the ball continuously or getting yourselves into a situation where there's no attackers to really combine with, much like we've seen in the England team, Sterling can look plain sometimes. Yes, as I've already said, he gets into decent positions and he's managed to get 2 goals. But for me, I think Grealish is just more deadly, more potent, more of a threat. And has the capabilities to take the ball and dribble past 2 or 3 players and create a chance for himself if he can't link up with anyone. I don't feel like Sterling can do that. And every time he does that, he loses the ball. So that's just my opinion. But he will play Sterling. Sterling will play, Kane will start, and Saka, we've already established, will play. Now, I've gone with Sancho. Again, the same reasons for Bellingham, Bundesliga experience. I just feel like this is an element for Sancho to thrive in. And playing against players that he knows he's familiar with, I just think Sancho has the perfect environment here to come out of his shell and to play like we know Sancho can play. Some are worried about his inconsistency and the fact he hasn't played much. I understand that. If Saka does play, which I think we all know is going to happen, I'm cool with that though. Saka played fantastic in the last game, man of the match, so he deserves to play. If he does start, I'm cool with that. But personally, against Germany, I'd go Sancho. But that's just me. Saka will start though. I'm happy with that. That would be my starting 11 though. Let me know in the comments if you agree or if you disagree. And what would you do? Now, in terms of a score prediction, let's be honest. I've got my head and my heart here. My head is telling me Germany 2, England 0. So England 0, Germany 2 because England are at home. My heart is telling me England 1, Germany 0, and we go through as the underdog and we cause the biggest upset. Actually, not the biggest upset because France got knocked out now, but one of the biggest upsets in the tournament. Come on, England. It's coming home. No, honestly, look, I hope it's a good game. I hope we don't get embarrassed. I hope we don't get demolished. Let's be honest here. It's going to be a tough game, but look, we can only hope. At this stage, we can only hope that somehow we pull it off. Because right now, in terms of looking at both teams and in terms of looking at Gareth Southgate and how we're going to set up, there's not much hope. But it's all we have. So, come on, England. It's a game of 90 minutes. Anything can happen. So, let's hope for the best. Come on, England. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments your predictions and your thoughts. I will be doing a watch along on Twitch. So, make sure you follow me on Twitch. Link in the description where I'm doing the England-Germany game. And then after that, I will drop the match review back here on YouTube on Younes Talks Football. So, make sure after the game, you have your eyes peeled on here for my thoughts after it's all said and done. And fingers crossed, England are in the quarterfinals of the Euros. And I have to say, look, if we do get past Germany, just like I said, Chelsea can begin to dream if we beat Atletico. England can begin to dream if we beat Germany. Why? Because the path to the final will be clear. Either Ukraine or Sweden. And then after that, either Denmark, Czech Republic, Belgium, or... No. Czech Republic, Denmark. Is that it? Yeah, Czech Republic or Denmark, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, path to the final is looking clear, you know, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see all of you after the game. Have a good one. Look after yourselves. Take care. And peace.